Hello, contributors. This is Hillary. I'm the managing editor for the Orange County Moms blog. I am doing this tutorial video to give you kind of an overview on how to use WordPress to write a blog post. And I'm going to be completely honest right now. I am writing this from my bathroom floor. It's 11 o'clock at night and my family is asleep. And this was pretty much the only time I could find peace and quiet to do this video. So I apologize if the audio is a little echoey or if I'm kind of like whisper talking right now. I'm just trying to keep everyone from kind of waking up right now. So anyway, it's the glamorous life of a mom blogger, right? Welcome. All right, so let's just jump in. So in order to log into WordPress, you have to have this specific URL. It's not the main URL for our kind of forward-facing Orange County Moms blog site that anyone can go to and read our stuff. It's actually this one. It says, you can see it has that WP login kind of ending to it. And that will take you here where you can log into the back end of a website. And you need to have login information for that, which you should have received when you signed on as a contributor, but let me know if you need the link or your login information again. We'll make sure you get that. I'm going to log in as the guest blogger account right now. That's just because my regular account, because I'm the managing editor, there's like different things that I have access to, and some of my buttons are in different places and stuff like that. So I just want this experience for you as you're watching the video to be as close to what you will actually see when you log in yourself and start writing. So that's why I'm using the guest blogger account. This is where you'll put your username or email address and then your password. And then I would click remember me. That way it'll auto-populate. You don't have to fill it in every time. So let's go ahead and log in. This will take you to the main dashboard in the back end of the website. To be honest, I really don't spend that much time looking at this dashboard. You can if you want. There's some information about our site overall and some kind of general, articles about writing WordPress. You could even write like a really quick draft, as it says. It has no formatting or anything. It's just literally if you want to like get an idea down, like jot a note and make it into a draft, you can. But I really don't spend that much time here. Where I do spend time is in the posts section. So we're just going to jump right over there. So this is the post section. And actually, just real quick, you'll see there's different tabs here. And after this video is over, you can feel free to kind of scroll through if you want. There's a lot of things in here that you probably have no need or inclination even to explore, like Jetpack or Calendar or whatever. One tab that you might be using in addition to all posts is the media tab, library specifically. That's where all of our photos and videos are saved. So sometimes, like if you want to just upload a bunch of photos or something, you might go directly to library. You could click add new here if you want. I just want to give you a little caveat though. This is the library for all of the photos on the blogs, on the site from everyone, not just you. And if you were to edit or accidentally delete a photo from here, it really deletes from the website. So and if it's your own photo and you've decided not to use it, then that's fine. But you don't want to like touch someone else's photo and accidentally like mess it up. So just a little FYI there. Let's go back to posts. Posts is really where I spend pretty much most of my time. On the back end here, this is like the brain of our site. So all the posts that have ever been written, and not just like published, but in various forms of editing or writing, are saved here. So, and you can click on these different tabs and it'll kind of auto sort them, or you could search over here by certain topics or names or whatever. Where it says mine, now for me, because I'm logged in as the Orange County guest blogger, it lists all the posts that have been written under that account. When you're logged in, it'll list all of your posts that you've ever written, any draft that you've ever started and saved, all the way up through a post that has been published will be under this tab. You can also see, like if we go to pending, for example, you'll be able to see posts that other people have written just in the title only. Like you can't actually click on these. I'm trying to click on it. It's not clickable. What that means is that it's actually peace of mind for you, right? So like if you're working on a draft, that means that it's for your eyes only. Let's say it's, you're not ready for anyone else to read it. It's rough. You don't have to worry about someone kind of wandering in and seeing what you're writing. It's really yours until you mark it as pending. So you submit it for review and for posting to the site. So up until that time, no one else will be able to see it. When it's pending, I'm the managing editor, and I can see it because I need to go in and review it and make sure that it's ready to be scheduled or whatnot. And then once it's actually published, then anyone who's a contributor will be able to see it, but they can see it on the website too. So that's just so you know. You can see what other people have written if you're just curious, like, oh, look, Avery's written something cool, whatever. You'll be able to see that here. So now when you're ready to write your post, there's two ways you can get there. You can click on this button, Add New, or you could also click on Add New over here. They take you to the same place. I don't know why there's two different ways to do it, but either one you click will take you here. Now, I'm going to try and kind of keep this to just basics of writing a blog post, but I am also going to touch a little bit on SEO, which is search engine optimization and readability, because that is kind of part of what's included in this new post page. Just kind of give you an overview of the page. I'm sorry, I'm like scrolling up and down. You put your title in here. This is the body of the text goes here. Then there's this Yoast, I hope I'm saying that right, Yoast SEO Premium. We'll get into that later. And then from this part down, you really don't need to pay any attention to it, like sister site settings, co-schedule, SEO redirect. I don't even know what this box means here. Don't worry about this part, okay? Like you don't have to worry about sister site settings and down. Just from this part up is really where you're going to be putting most of your attention. I'm going to kind of start from the top down, but I might jump around a little. So again, did I mention this is the first time I've done this tutorial video? Hopefully I'm making sense. If there's anything that you, after watching this video, that you feel like I didn't cover or you have questions about, please feel free to leave a comment or contact me. I'm happy to clarify. I'm trying to keep this not super long a video, so trying to edit myself a little, but there is a lot of information as well. So if you have any questions or you want more, information about how to use something, please feel free to reach out. So let's start with the title here. So I'm just going to kind of write a fake post right now, blogging advice for contributors. And by the way, I've been told that I type really loudly, and I've tried to work on that in the past, and I'm sorry, my fingers just want to hammer. So I apologize if my typing is really loud. So here's the title that I've selected. And by the way, in our contributor group in Facebook, we have that closed group for contributors. There is a document in the file section called SEO/readability tips. And that document has a lot more information on tips for how to optimize your post. So basically what SEO, search engine optimization, means is when someone goes to Google or whatever and they're searching on a specific topic, like blogging advice, your hope is that your post that you've written on that topic will be something that they stumble on in that search. And, usually when someone goes to Google, they'll look at like what's on the first page, maybe the second page of hits. And the way to kind of help hopefully make sure that what you've written, your post that you've written, is on that first or second page of Google results is to optimize the search engine functionality. So one of the ways of doing that is making sure you have a keyword that summarizes what you've written about, and is hopefully matching the keyword that they have entered in. So I'm selecting for my keyword blogging advice. And it could be a word, it could be a phrase. Typically you want to make it kind of shorter than not. And down here in the Yoast box, I'm going to write that down as my focus keyword. And what that means is that it's this Yoast box. It's actually kind of like it's really helpful. It's like a cheat sheet on your SEO. So it'll tell you and it'll kind of rate you on how you're doing. It helps you kind of make sure that your post is optimized. And now that I've told it, this is what I want my focus keyword to be, it's going to be kind of looking for this keyword throughout the post. And you don't have to necessarily put it in your headline. It definitely helps with SEO, but if you have all of your other SEO things down in here working properly and optimized, you don't necessarily have to have your focus keyword or phrase in the headline, but it is helpful. And going back to that document I mentioned in our Facebook group, the SEO/readability tips doc, first of all, when we're done with this video, I encourage you to go in and read that document because it's going to have way more tips than I'm talking about right now. And by the way, probably about once a month or so in our group, I'll try and post a new tip about SEO or blogging in general to help you guys. And then I'll usually put that into that document. I update the document with the new tip that I've done. So you might want to go in every few months and just kind of refresh yourself or see if there's been a new tip added. If you've missed it in the group somehow, it'll all live in that document. Something that I have in there is about the headline. So there's actually a really great free tool called a headline analyzer. And there's a website link in that document that you can check out where you can plug in the headline that you have for your blog post, and it'll rate it on how great a headline it is and how kind of how much it's going to grab the reader, how well it kind of aligns with SEO best practices, and it'll give it a grade. And you usually want to have a grade of like 70 or above. And it gives you little tips, or it kind of analyzes what you've done and what you can do to make it better. Now, you don't have to use the headline analyzer tool. Part of what I do as a managing editor is, I'm kind of polishing what you've written. Like you are the one that's really doing the bulk of the work, right? Like this is your idea, this is your writing, this is your voice that you're putting into it. But what I come in and do as a managing editor, part of what I do, well, first of all, I just make sure that it kind of aligns with the overall kind of voice of our blog, the Orange County Moms blog. So like it can't have like offensive language or like hate speech or something crazy. Like I've never had to edit someone's work for that, thankfully. But I'm just saying, there's that level. But then also what I'm doing is I'm trying to make sure that your post is polished in terms of this SEO and readability, so that as many people as possible will stumble on it and want to read it. And that's really like why we're writing, right? So it's one thing to put your words and your thoughts on the page, but you want other people to see it too. It's like that old phrase that was saying that's like, if a tree falls in the woods and there's no one around to hear it, like, does it make a sound, right? So, we want people to read it. That's why when we share it on Facebook, we want you to like it and comment and share it with your friends. Let's get people reading your stuff, because that's why we're writing, right? Because we want people to read what we've written. Hopefully we'll help them in some way, or give them a sense of camaraderie or entertainment or something. But people have to find it first. So SEO really helps people find your blog posts. So part of my focus as your editor is to do that. So long story short, if you don't have the time or the patience or whatever it is for using the headline analyzer tool or any of these other kind of SEO tips that I'm going to mention, that's okay. As long as you've written a post and have kind of done the basics of it, I can help you with that and kind of get your post in a good state to publish it to our site. But I'm giving you these tips and trying to be very transparent about part of what I'm doing and editing them, because I want to give you the ability, if you so choose, to have kind of more control over the finished product of how your blog post looks. And these are all just, tools, writing tools for you that you can develop on your own if you so choose. Again, we'd rather have you write something than nothing at all. So if like trying to come up with a great headline is keeping you from writing something, then don't worry about that. Like, please just write, and I'm here to help you. Okay. And by the way, you don't have to start with a headline. Sometimes I just have an idea for what I want to write about, and I write it, and when I'm done, that's when I figure out, oh, this is what I want to call this post. Right? So if that's what your process is, then that's fine. You don't have to do it in this linear, like top-down way. I'm just doing it just for simplicity's sake right now, but you can save a draft without having a title for it. So that can be the last thing you put in, and that's fine. Just letting you know. So anyway, this is what I've decided that my headline's going to be. Let's just pretend that it got like 100 score on the headline analyzer, which I've actually never seen, by the way. It's really hard to get a really high score on the headline analyzer. So this is just my dream world, but let's just say it has a great score. Now we're going to go in here, and some of this stuff I'm sure you've seen a lot before because you've probably used Microsoft Word or your email. It has a lot of these same formatting buttons. But there's just a couple things that I'll go over that might be new or kind of stuff that you don't really use all the time. So first of all, I'm just going to make sure that this button here, the toolbar toggle, is clicked, and that brings that second row down for you because you'll be using stuff here. So let's just start writing our post. Blogging advice is what I write posts. Here are some tips. And obviously I'm just writing this freehand. It's not perfect writing. I'm just doing this as an example. So you'll just notice that I use that same focus keyword that I've picked for my post here. For good SEO, you want to try and use that focus keyword in the first paragraph of your post. So that's what I've done. So now I'm going to go down and I'm going to do tip number 1. So I want to make this into a headline. So to do that, go to paragraph. And so there's different headers. They're kind of pre-selected in terms of size and color. So I rarely, if at all, use heading 1. And I rarely, if at all, use heading 6 or pre-formatted. I'm not even sure what that means, actually. I pretty much hang out in the 2 to 5 range. And you'll see, let me just go to our website. Get this one. You'll see that they have different colors based on which header number you've picked. So there's like this kind of dusty rose color. I think this is header 3, I want to say, but don't quote me on that. And then there's this one, which is kind of the more bluish color. And these are kind of like the mascot colors of our blog, right? That's the color that's in our little flower. And so these are just kind of set in stone for how our blog is supposed to look. So I'm just going to pick header 2 here. Tip number 1, please write. And I'm going to make a little spelling error just so you can see what happens. So it will redline it. It'll let you know that you've made a spelling error, but there's no way to actually find out. There's no like spell check, unfortunately. So you just have to figure out what you've done wrong. But you'll just notice that it tells you spelling errors. It doesn't tell you grammatical or punctuation errors. So again, and that's what, as managing editor, and I kind of like, I'm a super grammar nerd, so I like love that stuff, like punctuation and like all that stuff. I'm so nerdy, I'm sorry. But if you are able to correct it yourself, that's awesome. But if you miss something, then that's what I am doing when I'm reading your post, is making sure everything looks as it should be. So let's say I want to put a quote in now. So I'm going to click on here. This is block quote and quote about writing. Okay, and you don't have to put actual quotation marks around it because I'll show you later, but when it's actually posted, there'll be like a giant picture of a quotation mark here. So it's pretty obvious that it's a quote there. Oops. Let me get out of the quote area here. And then let's do tip number 2. And I'm going to make this a different header, heading 3. And I'm going to say, let's link to a website. So the way that you link to a website, you highlight the text, and you go up to this little thing that looks like a chain link. And by the way, this thing next to it that looks like a broken chain link is to remove the link. So hopefully that's clear, but you click on that. And actually, this is really cool, and I just discovered this recently, I'm embarrassed to say, but if you are linking to a post from within the Orange County Moms blog from our own site, you don't have to paste the URL here. You can just type a word that relates to it. So I'm just going to write like nursing, and it will pull up. These are all the posts that have the term nursing in them. So you can just click on one, and it'll just automatically pull in the link. So that's actually really cool, and it saves you time because you don't have to go up here and search for it and then cut and paste. It'll just do that for you. And then click on this little gear thing that says link options. And I always want to make sure that open link in new tab is clicked. And that's just because, when someone clicks on this hyperlink, it's going to open up a new tab for them, and they can go and read it, but they won't lose your post that they were reading. And, you might, how many times you like go down a rabbit hole when you're surfing the web, and you just end up like 4 articles down from where you started, and you might not remember or know how to get back to where you were. So I just like to make sure that you keep the window open that they were reading in, and open up a new window for this. And now, when you hover over or click on it, it'll pull up that link. Now I'm going to remove the link and just show you just another way to do it if you want. If you want to link to an outside website, not one of ours, but something else, you can I just happen to have this open. So that is our Orange County Moms blog owner, Maria. That's her adorable son right there. So that's from our Instagram feed. And you can just cut and paste it right like that. And again, make sure that open link in new tab is selected. And then there you go. Now just to kind of jump back to linking to blog posts within our own blog, that's actually really good for SEO, to have links within a post to other posts within your blog or your website. And I don't expect you to know as a new contributor all the posts that have ever been written on our site, but just as time goes on, because you're hopefully going to be reading the posts that your fellow co-contributors are writing as well. So you might be like, oh, I'm writing this post and I mentioned nursing. Let me just put in a link to this article I wrote or read recently on nursing. And it can be yours too. It doesn't have to be someone else's. You can link to your own posts within a new post. But it's just kind of a nice way also to give a shout out to someone else's post, and it keeps people wanting to read more within our website instead of referring them to a blog post on someone else's website on nursing. Have them read something that we've written about it. So I encourage you to do that if you are able to, or if you would like to. So that's how we do the hyperlinks. Now, every post, in addition to having text, also needs to have at least one featured image, one image. So the featured image, I'm just going to go over here and show you, go back. That is this image here. That's the image that appears with your post on our website, also when it goes out on Facebook and Twitter and whatever, and in our newsletter that's emailed, that's the image that accompanies it. So we need to have at least one. And if you go back into our Facebook contributor group, in the file section, there's another file in there called, it's like photo guidelines or something. And that gives you a little bit more information on how to select a featured image, and also some websites where you can find free stock photos, because we want to make sure that we have the usage rights to any photo that we run on our blog. So if it's a free stock photo, you can use that, or if it's a photo that you've taken, or I guess, if it's like your mom took it, but she says you can use it, like, that's fine. But you don't want to like just go on someone else's like random website and copy a photo from there and use it here, because they could easily find out, and we could get sued for a lot of money for that. So it's just like not worth the risk. And there's a lot of websites that have great stock photos, and they're listed in that photo guidelines document in our Facebook group. So I encourage you to go there and browse or use those websites when you're writing your posts. And again, this is will be a very helpful, awesome thing for you to do. But if you can't find a good photo, it's the difference between you writing a post and not, then don't worry about it. I will help you find a photo. But if you want to have more control over how your post looks, then this is a way that you can do that. So I'm just going to click here for featured image. This is where you're going to set the image that runs with your post. Okay, so click on featured image. I'm going to upload a new file. You can select files that will open up your computer finder window. I happen to have one open here. I'm actually not sure if you can see that because I'm not sharing my whole desktop. But anyway, here's the photo that I've selected that I want to use. And I'm going to go into it real quick, just show you something. So this photo that I found on a stock photo website, it's got a vertical orientation. It's very long. And if you look at our photos here, the featured images are horizontal. And so what you want to find, ideally, is to find a horizontal image, not a long image. Now, our website is actually really smart. I don't know if it's a plugin or what, but it has this feature built into it where it will automatically crop your photo to the right size for the featured image. Like this one right now, it says these are the dimensions. The actual featured image dimensions, I think it's 1024 by, I want to say 601, something like that. So it will auto crop it. This is what it will look like essentially when it's cropped to the right dimensions. But let's say I don't want any water. I just want people on the beach. So I can crop it myself just by making this selection here with my mouse cursor thing, and then crop it here. You can also, there's some limited editing you can do. You can change the orientation or, reverse it or whatever. Crop it here. For my purposes, I'm okay with it just kind of being a general ballpark of the shape. This is now more of a horizontal orientation. The kind of auto cropper feature might take off a little here or might take off a little there. That's okay for me. But if you want to be kind of more specific, you can actually scale it exactly how you want. I think you have to select it and then you can scale it how you want. So 1024 by 601. So that's how that's the ideal crop. Whatever it is, you save it. And give it a minute to think here. Make sure it's selected here. And then one last thing you want to do is under alt text, you want to put the focus keyword that you selected or phrase. So I'm putting blogging advice there. You don't have to worry about a caption or description. And then just set featured image. And then here it'll give you a little preview of what it looks like. And you can actually also see what it'll look like on social media. You click here, this is the social tab, and this is the preview of what it'll look like on Facebook and Twitter. And you'll notice that it actually crops a little differently for both, which is I don't understand why, but that's how it works. But so whatever image you use, if you have something very specific on how it looks, you might want to leave a good margin of space on the edges so that if it does crop, it doesn't crop out the central thing that you want there. Okay, so that's featured image. If you want to insert pictures into your post, you can do that too. You just click Add Media up here, and you can upload more files or just select the one that you've already uploaded and click Insert into Post. Now, something else you can do that's really cool is you can insert a photo or you can insert an image directly from a URL. So I'm just going to show you what that means. So here, if you go insert from URL, well, let's go back to that cute photo here. So I'm going to copy the URL for this is the actual Instagram post URL for this actual picture, and put it here, and it should show you a preview. And now it will actually insert this whole frame here into the post directly. So it's not like you have to like save the picture and upload it again. You can just do it right like that. And if people want to, it's actually, well, not here, but when it's actually posted, they could actually even like the picture like directly. So if you find a photo in the Orange County Moms blog, Instagram or Twitter or wherever, or let's say there's like some celebrity post that you want to reference or something, you can put that in there. You can also do you can put in a YouTube video that directly that way instead of uploading it. Like you don't have to have the whole video file uploaded. You can just do it directly from the URL. So that's just kind of a really cool feature there. And then if you want to get like really fancy, you could even do an image collage. Now this might be a little, this is like blocking 201 instead of 101, but you can do a little photo collage within your post. It's just, you have to kind of play around with the dimensions, and that's something that I can do as your editor too, as well. But you have that capability if you'd like to do that. Okay, so now generally speaking, this little cheat sheet here is helpful because it tells you all the things that you kind of need to do to improve your SEO. Ideally, you want this to be green. So it's like a stoplight. So red is like kind of the lowest grade, quote unquote, and then there's orange, which is okay, and then green, which is what you are trying to shoot for here. So ideally this would be green. It's red right now just because this is a big post, so there's a lot of things that I'm not doing properly here, but you want it to be green. And then readability, ideally green, but orange is okay too. All right, and these are just kind of guidelines, and if you can't for whatever reason get it to these colors, then I will come in and help you when I'm editing it. But one reason why this is red here is because of the word count. I think it said down here it's too short. So this is where the word count is here. Generally speaking, we want our posts to be somewhere from like the, I don't know, like 500 to 600-ish range. It can be up to the 800 or 900-ish word count range, give or take. It's, it's kind of dependent too. Like, for instance, we had a post recently on the best beaches in Orange County, and there were a lot of great photos in that post because, you want to see what the beach is going to look like, and not as much text. And that's okay because in terms of readability, there's still, you're scrolling through, there's still stuff for you to look at. It feels like a full post. But if let's say you have a blog post that only has like 100 words and like no pictures, then that's not going to get a very good SEO score. So again, sweet spots like ish, 500 or 600 words ish, up to 800 or 900-ish words. You can go a little below, you can go a little above. But that's just kind of general ballpark of what you're hoping to hit. And from the Yoast SEO analyzer's perspective, it wants it to be 300. But you'll find as you're writing that you can probably hit 300 pretty quickly as you're writing. So that's just one way to get your score up. Now I'm just going to go through here, and you'll see the scores up here too, by the way. There's another way you can see what it looks like. Categories. So when you go to a post, let me just show you a post real quick. This one I know I have what I'm looking for in it. So this one I've selected these categories for it, and that just means what it's filed under. And you can click on any of these words and it'll show you all the other posts that have been filed under those categories. So for this purposes of this one, I'm going to select guest post. And then, I also think it's about being a mom, so I'm clicking that as well. And you can make that the primary if you want, or you can make guest post the primary. You can select which one it is. To be honest, I'm not even really sure what effect that has on it, but there you have it. That's just an option if you want to do that. And then under tags, I'm going to put my focus keyword there again. And like, let's say if you're writing about, you know, events in Orange County, you can write about the events or the locations, Discovery Science Center or Chalk Walk or whatever. Those are some of the tags that I selected for this. Oops, this post here. You'll see them down here. And you know, I'm not sure how many people are actually clicking on this stuff and seeing it because it's all the way at the bottom, but it's there, so we might as well use it, I suppose. So that's what those tags correlate to. Yeah, so now let's say that I'm ready to see what this post looks like, but I don't want to publish it. And by the way, as a contributor, you don't have to worry. You're never going to like click the wrong button and accidentally like post this live to the website. The most you can do is submit it for review. So you don't have to worry about that. But you can see a preview of what it would look like when it is published. This link that is going to come up here is not like a real link. You can only see it if you're logged in to the back end of WordPress, but it shows you what it's actually going to look like when it is published. So it's a great way to kind of check your work. This is what this headline looks like. Okay, that's the color I wanted or whatever. This is what the quote looks like. There's that blog post. The photo, this is that Instagram pic. He is so cute. And then the link. And now, by the way, on the photo, I didn't do this here, but I will show you when we go back. Here, I'll just do it right now. If you want to edit it again, you go back here. Generally, we want the photo to be centered, so I'm just going to click Align Center. And then if I wanted to write a caption, I could write caption. Oops. Update. And then it'll show up there. And then if you want to go back and click on, see if I just go back here, it doesn't automatically update it. I'm just going to go here and click preview again, and then that causes it to refresh the page. I didn't click save though, so hopefully it caught the change. Yep, there we go. So now it looks more like what I wanted it to look like. Just real quick, when at the bottom you'll see you can actually edit these related posts if you want. You don't have to at all, but if you want to, you can. Let's say I want a nursing post to be down there. Let's say I want one of my posts that I've written before to be there. I don't know. And it's not perfect. I've written way more posts than this, so it's not like a perfect system, but you know, let's say I want to write about an event. You know, you don't have to do this at all, but if you want to have a little more control, you can. And then if you leave one empty, that's fine. It will, save and close. It will autofill it for you. So again, you don't have to worry about this, but it's just if you want to, you can. So I'm going to close this window now. I believe my post is ready. Hopefully I haven't forgotten anything major up here to show you. So now I'm going to submit for review. So when I click that button, submit for review, it's going to change the status from draft to pending. And what that means is that, whoops, all posts, that's a signal to me as your managing editor that you are ready for it to be reviewed and scheduled for posting live. So really don't click that button until you are truly finished with your post. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is the post that I've just written. Now it's in the pending section. This is only clickable here because it's my own post. You can click on your own posts, but if it's someone else's post, you can't. So now it's ready to be edited. So that is the general overview. Again, I encourage you to go look at that SEO/readability tips doc for more information on how to up your SEO scores there. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them here, or contact me directly. I'm happy to do an even deeper dive with you guys if you have the desire to learn more. But hopefully this has given you a good overview to get you started. Thanks so much, and I look forward to reading your writing. Bye.